This is Keith Helwig from Cops Corrections Videos. I'd like to address something today that I feel really needs to be addressed by law enforcement, not only in corrections, but also street cops. Now, I worked in corrections for 36 years. For 36 of those years, or for 23 of those 36 years, I was also a police officer. So I've seen life on both sides of the fence. One of the false assumptions we make as police officers and as correctional officers is that once an inmate, always an inmate. Once a scumbag, always a scumbag. Well, over the years, and there's been a lot of them, I've seen a lot of people who started out as inmates, who started out as scumbags, who started out whatever, and have led good, solid lives since they've gotten out of prison. Some of them are in prison because of drugs, some of them are in prison because of alcohol, some of them were in prison simply because they felt their financial needs and their desires needed to be met immediately. Prison, for a lot of them, opened up new doors. It wasn't the end, it was the beginning. But as correctional officers and as police officers, we see a person that we arrested or a person that we deal with in prison, and we're of the assumption, once an inmate, always an inmate. My experience has shown me that that is entirely false. Now, in some cases, it's true. It's very true. Some cases, there are always going to be inmates, there are always going to be scumbags. But I can think of a lot of cases where people have gone into prison and they've really made something of themselves. I met an individual who did over 20 years for a murder. I met him at one of my book signings. This individual is now an entrepreneur. He's a youth pastor at his church. He's been out of prison for more than 17 years and has never reoffended again. Another individual that lives in my town. He owns a very successful auto repair shop. He was in trouble. He got thrown in prison because of possession of cocaine. Okay, so he's been out. Am I going to look at him and think, well, once an inmate, always an inmate? We need to remind ourselves that we're in this business not only to catch people doing things wrong, but to try to help people do things right. Try to help people rehabilitate. Now, for some people, rehabilitate is a bad word. Well, the fact of the matter is that's one of the reasons prisons exist, whether we want to acknowledge it or not, is rehabilitation. And for a lot of inmates, it's the first time they've had a chance to go to a school without the pressure of gangs. It's the first time they've had a chance to enter a treatment program without pressure from family. So the next time you see someone that you've dealt with, unless you know for sure that they're still a badass, that they're still committing crimes or whatever, don't automatically assume once an inmate, always an inmate. Once a scumbag, always a scumbag. People can change. People do change. We can't always judge a person on their past. Believe me, if I were to be judged on my past, I wouldn't be sitting in a squad car right now. This is Keith Helwig from Cops Corrections. If you like my videos, please subscribe. Until next time, stay safe and watch your back.